Hi there, welcome to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra. Here on my channel you'll see lots of farmhouse home decor, some thrift store flips, trash to treasure, and some dollar store budget-friendly DIYs for home decor. Today I am taking this sign that I made last year around Christmas and I'm going to repurpose it into some fall decor. I've taped off the top part of the frame, which is the exterior, because I want to leave that stained the color that it is. I'm going to paint the rest of it, including the sides, with chalked paint in the color Chiffon Cream. I like using creams and whites in my decor. For fall, I just love the way the cream color looks against all of the beautiful fall colors. I'm going to give this 2 coats, one in one direction, and then the second coat will be in the opposite direction. This is called cross hatching, and what that will do is fill in all of the cracks and crevices and make sure that you get a really nice solid coat of color, especially when you've got something underneath that you want to cover up. I like using this technique because it really makes sure that whatever has been painted underneath no longer shows. While I wait for the paint to dry, I'm going to work with these little acrylic leaf gems that I picked up at my local Dollarama store for $2. They're really cute the way they are, but they're too shiny for me. So of course I'm going to paint them, as I do with a lot of my things. But I'm going to use 3 different colors, very similar to what the colors of the gems are to begin with. And I've made these colors with some acrylic paint and some baby powder to create chalk paint. I'll have the specific recipe quantities listed down in my description box. Here I'm painting a golden color, and then I'm going to also use a green shade. I picked up these craft circles. There's 2 styrofoam pieces in each pack at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they would be really cute to make some little pumpkins out of. So I'm going to make some dimensional pumpkins. I'm going to take the circles, use my craft knife, and make a pumpkin shape out of the first circle. An easy way to do this is to cut some really shallow V's on the top and on the bottom, and then round out the pieces as you need them. So I'm making a cut here, and then I'll turn it, make another cut in the following direction, and then I'll just pop off that extra little piece of styrofoam and then just trim up the pumpkin edges to make it nice and round. Then I'll do the same thing for the bottom, but I'll make the V just a little bit smaller for the bottom, because that will then give you the effect of the rounded bottom for the pumpkin. Then I'll repeat it with the second piece of styrofoam. I'm going to make the third pumpkin about 2/3 the size of the first 2. I just wanted a little bit of size variation for my design. This video is part of a fall repurpose DIY collab hosted by my very good friend Sonia over at Domestic Diva DIY. Please go and check out Sonia's channel. I'll have her channel linked in my description box below, and show her some love. Tell her I sent you, hit that red subscribe button and the thumbs up, and give her your support. I wanted the pumpkins to look even more 3-dimensional, so I've cut out this oval, and I'm going to use that as the center portion of the pumpkin, give it a little bit more thickness. Although this is too thick, so I am going to slice it in half. This is a much better look. I'll do the same thing for the larger pumpkins. I found these really pretty napkins at the Dollar Tree, $1.25 for 16, and I'm going to use these to add onto the pumpkins. You can see that the colors are on the one square are really pretty. I won't be using the white portion of the napkin, and I'm just going to use my Mod Podge and add these napkins right on top of the styrofoam. I found the easiest way to add the Mod Podge to the top of these styrofoam pumpkins is to just pour some on and then spread it around with my paintbrush. Then I'll take my napkin and press it firmly on top of the pumpkin, spreading out any bubbles. But you know what? I love texture, and there's going to be some wrinkles and stuff in these pumpkins with the napkins. I just love that look. If you want something smooth, then don't use this type of styrofoam because it's not going to give you a smooth look. I'm also going to then use some Mod Podge with my paintbrush around the edges, fold over the napkin so it adheres to the sides and the back really well too. I'll do this for all of the rest of the pumpkin shapes, including the little ovals for the top, but the only different thing I'm going to do is change the direction of the leaves on the napkin so they all look a little bit different. I've got these pumpkin pieces all glued together, and I just went into my garden, grabbed a few little wooden sticks from some branches. I'm pushing the end of my paintbrush right into that styrofoam to make a hole, and then I'll glue the stick in. When you're done watching my video, I would really appreciate it if you would go into the description box, click on that playlist link, and go see what everyone else has done in this fall repurpose DIY collab. You are sure to be inspired. So here's all my little leaves. They're all nice and dry. I'm just taking the paintbrush that I used to paint the chiffon cream inside the frame, and I'm giving each of them a little bit of a dry brush. I'm also going to add some dry brushing to the pumpkins themselves, get a little bit around the edges for sure, and then just kind of go across the center, give them a little bit of a distressed look. Using some leftover paint from painting the leaves and a dry brush, I'm going to dry brush the inside of the frame and give that a distressed look too. Now comes the fun part, putting it all together. I'm taking this maple leaf and cutting it down a little bit so I have a smaller leaf for each of the pumpkins, and I'll just use hot glue to put them in place. Now that I have my design figured out how I want it, I'm going to start gluing everything together. I'm taking some of this dried Spanish moss and just putting it down at the very bottom of the frame because I want that to look like sort of hay or wherever the pumpkins would be sitting on in the fields. Next comes the pumpkins. In the center pumpkin, I had to do a little bit of a notch out of the bottom part so it would sit properly inside these two pumpkins. I just used my knife and cut out a little section underneath. I knew I wanted to put some type of wording on this sign, but I wasn't quite sure what to do. I then decided on the words harvest time because the pumpkins look like they're still in the fields and they haven't been taken out yet. So I thought that would be kind of cute. I'm using a fine tip oil-based CraftSmart paint pen, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw the outline of the letters. Starting in the center, I always start in the center letter of the word, work my way to the end of the word, and then work my way to the front of the word. And that just makes sure that I have it fairly centered without actually having to measure. Now taking my chisel tip paint pen, which is a thicker one, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the letters and add just a little bit of some embellishment on them. I'm doing this all freehand. I didn't have a stencil that was the size of the letters that I needed or the style of the letters that I needed. So I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to grab my paint pen, and however it turns out, I got to be happy with it. I'm going to use a smaller stencil to put the word time in. And this stencil I picked up at the Dollar Tree not too long ago. They had some newer stencils, so I thought I would give this one a try. I like the way the letters look. They're all in capitals and they have a really nice farmhouse feel to them. Since I'm using a paint pen, I want both of these letters to have the same type of texture to them. So I'm just going to use my pencil to trace out the letters and then I'll color them in with my paint pen. Remember when we used to curl ribbons with our scissors? That's what I'm doing with these little pieces of grass. I had these in my stash and I wanted to add a little bit more fun, whimsical look to this harvest time sign. Because I wanted the pumpkins to seem like they were still in the field, I thought it was a good idea to add something behind them. So I'm just going to take some of these pieces, curl them up with my scissors, and glue them in place. I also added in the little leaves. And here's how my sign turned out. I think it's pretty cute. I'd like to thank Sonia for hosting this fall repurpose DIY collab. If you like this type of video, I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button and click the bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching.